Guys, I wrote this and I still can't believe how amazing it is. If you have not read The Antagonists, go to our website at www.godhoodcomics.com to go and get all of the issues digitally. Now stay with me, because in issue 6, we see Destructus and Ultima, who are the main characters in the story. They're supervillains, and we see them in a flashback where they have liberated an African village from a warlord. They kind of talk about their plans. Destructus wants to take over the world, but he needs an army to do it. And so they talk about the reasons that they're here. And so they prepare to confront the warlord, but they have opposition from his army. Ultima, his wife, who is also indestructible and bulletproof, she says, "Get behind me, this will only take a second." Destructus says, "No, I need to let off some steam." And he picks up their guns telekinetically and crushes them. Then he showed us, and he shows his wife, that he doesn't need his superpowers to take down these petty soldiers with a wham, crack, wow. So this is the warlord, Shabazz Alaoui, who is held up in his office in the church, and it's about to go down. Destructus and Ultima bust through the door. Now, of course, Shabazz is scared because he knows who he's dealing with. So he says, what do you want? Destructus tells him, "We had a deal, Shabazz." Shabazz says, "Stay back, stay back. You were supposed to retire in exchange for my protection from the U.S. government. You were to go to Santorini and await for my summons. I'm sorry. Because of you, because you didn't leave when I told you to, because you didn't heed my warnings, the United States government raided a village not too far from this one. They were looking for you, but instead innocent women and children were killed." Destructus says, "Now I see you here in a new village. Your men raping and plundering the townsfolk. Do you know how that makes me feel, Shabazz?" Shabazz says, "I needed more time to handle my affairs, Destructus. Please, you must believe me." Destructus, look at him badass. "I asked you a question. Do you know how that makes me feel?" Now Shabazz is scared. He's going to use any chip that he has to try to win this conversation. So he says, "Please, you need me. I'll do it. I swear to Allah, I will kill myself." Destructus isn't having it. He takes the gun from Shabazz telekinetically. Destructus says, "Yes, I do need you. You are one of the most well-connected men in Africa, and I have great need for your resources. For if I am to truly bring peace to the world, then I'll need an army, and you can get me one. But your life is mine. You do not get to decide when it ends, Ultima." And I'll tell you, if you know and you've read this series, you know anytime Destructus says Ultima at the end of a sentence, which is his wife, and her eyes are glowing red, you know it is bad news. So Destructus turns to leave, and Ultima's getting ready to do something, God knows what. And he says, "Now I ask again, do you know how it makes me feel?" Shabazz, terrified, says, It makes you feel mad?" Destructus says, "No, Shabazz, not mad. Never mad. It makes me feel destructive." See something going on there with Shabazz and Ultima. Then we get a monologue that Destructus says, "My father was wrong. Will wasn't God's mistake. Men were." Then we see what really happened to Shabazz here, and this is pretty sick, man. So Destructus says, he needs him, so you're not going to take your life, and I'm not going to take your life, but you are going to pay for not listening to me. So Ultima lasers off his arms and legs, and Shabazz, he pees himself, and Shabazz is just terrified and in pain, probably. I mean, those wounds are sizzling, and Destructus says, "Though I am feared, praised, and obeyed, I am no God. God isn't cut out for the work that needs to be done. I am." Guys, go get this book. I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret it. Download them digitally, issues 1 through 7 as singles or as an entire trade paperback. Now, we will have physical prints. We all sold out of physical prints. We will have them back in the store and on the TikTok shop this summer.